I want to be a part of something that has some magic to it, and TFT has magic.
Yep.
There's something about TFT that is just organically amazing, and you can't replicate that.
All right, guys, we're back with another TFT podcast. Today, I'm joined by Matthew Racz, and he's our COO, and he's been with the company about a year and 6 months.
Yeah, year and a half.
Year and a half at this point now. I want to talk about your journey working with TFT. But to get started, give us a bit of background before even joining TFT, right?
Sure.
What is your background?
So I'm in my mid-30s right now, early 30s, and throughout my 20s, I was very passionate about building software companies. So I was a co-founder of another tech company at the time, built it up, and we exited in 2019. It was quite an experience. You know, we're crushing it here on the TFT side, and so it's an absolute honor to be here. But my whole history has been really building and systematizing and operationalizing high growth tech companies. And it's something I'm very passionate about. I then transitioned more into high performance coaching and mentorship. And that's really how you and I got introduced. We were doing a lot of the coaching stuff on the trading side, the executive side. And it just became very obvious that there was a lot of synergy. We had a great relationship early on, right? Like we had a lot of fun, a lot of things on the business side we really resonated, but certainly even on the peak performance side. How do you optimize your health? How do you optimize your mindset? How do you get to the next level as an executive and empower your team? These are all things that we were discussing, and it became very obvious that it was just the natural next step to get more involved in a leadership capacity. I'm honestly honored to be here. I'm blown away by what we've done in a year and a half and everything that you and the rest of the founding team have built as a foundation, because my job was a little bit easy coming in because you guys had already done so much of the hard work to go from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Right? That's a hard phase and level jump to get through. And my job, and of course the rest of the job of the team, is to get from 1 to 10, right?
Yeah.
So we're working on that every day.
Yeah. And I'd say you've definitely helped us get from maybe 1 to 3, 1 to 4, because our 10 is so big.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it, right? The 10 is, just so you guys know, our 10 is like a million.
The goal is massive. Yeah. So like you said, you originally were in educational tech, right? Ed tech space. What do you feel like, what were some lessons learned from kind of that first, I don't know if it was your first startup, but just that startup in general, right? Like, what did you learn from that? And how coming into this, have you taken those lessons and sort of just been at a higher level because of it?
You know, I'm really, and you know this, but I'm very passionate about building people. Like, I love building companies. I love building technology and systems. But I'm really a people person. And one of the biggest lessons I learned early on, and somewhat in a hard way, is that culture is number one. You know, I think a lot of companies are focused on product, which is so important. You have to focus on product, and you have to focus on growth and sales and the marketing, everything. But internally, your culture is what's going to drive all of that, especially at scale. It's very easy early on. I'm sure you can attest this as a small team. The culture is a few people. And so
few passionate people. Yeah,
absolutely. And so decisions are made very quickly. Processes and fixes are made really quickly. But as you start bringing more people in, the culture starts dissipating potentially if you don't focus and prioritize it. So for me, a lot of things I wanted to bring into TFT was making sure that when we do scale, as we've brought in a tremendous amount of new team members over the last 16 months, it's been remarkable, the growth on the people side. Making sure that those that we are bringing on are the right fit culturally. And what do I mean by that, right? That they're super passionate, obviously, about the space and trading and TFT. They understand the background of what we're doing, the vision, but also they're just great people to work with. Something we talk a lot about internally is we need people who are high performance and low maintenance. Right? So for me, when I look at our team and how we're going to get to 10, right?
Those are the hardest people to find.
It's the hardest people to find because there's so many people who are passionate or they do have the background, but to get all the check boxes is really difficult. And then making sure that when they come into the firm that we can onboard them correctly and in an efficient manner, in a timely manner where they're adding
Without
value.
you, our onboarding would be a mess. Honestly, like
we've got
think about how hard it is to onboard people like off work. Like it's just there's so many, especially when there's so many applications, right? There's so many things that they need access to, things to even just get educated on. Especially if now we're starting to hire people that are not necessarily from the trading space. You know what I mean? So it's not educating them on the product, this and that. So yeah, like onboarding, like it's not just, oh, we're going to get a recruiter, we're going to hire the best people. Like there is a lot involved in actually bringing people on. So in terms of culture, like what is your ideal culture when it comes to the business, right?
So we need problem solvers, right? People who can come in and not get so overwhelmed and stressed out when things go wrong. We're a high growth tech company, and what that means is we're literally building the runway. We've already taken off, and we're building everything as we're going. And so we're very proactive. We have a vision, we have a strategy, we have a plan, but not everything goes according. There's a lot that's out of our direct control, right? And so when crises occur, as they do in any business, in any firm, think of like Google in the early days, tons of issues. Amazon in the early days, tons of issues. Making sure that people can come in and understand my job here is to be a solutions oriented and not to crumble. So I think from a culture standpoint, you have to have that mindset where you can come in and not only like operate in uncertainty, but thrive in it. And like you almost get like a little jazzed about, oh shit, this is my time to step up and grow.
Step into your higher self and figure out what information you need to make things happen. So would you have ever thought that you would find yourself in a situation where you're potentially working for a company that's as big as Microsoft was in its early years?
I always had the hopes and the vision to, right? And I think that in the capacity of what TFT is and where it has been, where we're going, I honestly can say no. I don't think that I was expecting it, especially.
Well, welcome.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I feel welcomed, to say the least. And so for me, when I think about what we're building, it's kind of surreal being here at the summit and being able to meet all our team members in person. A lot of our company is fully remote, and that's a pretty bizarre thing in itself. I was more so in my previous business experiences, it was half remote, half in person. So we still had an HQ where part of our team was local and in person, the rest was global, et cetera. But this is fully remote. So for me, it's just an absolute honor to be a part of something that is so digital and people are so passionate, but that passion is actually what crosses all the boundaries in terms of like location and background and even like language barriers. It's pretty amazing how trading is really the underlying piece that is bringing everyone together in this capacity.
This opportunity. I'm imagining your last company was with maybe some of your friends or some people you knew a longer period of time. You hadn't known me a very long time before you hopped in and really worked with the company. Yeah, we did do some coaching, right? But we didn't have a ton of history working together, right? So how did you go through the process of actually trusting that this is something that you should actually put all of your time into? And obviously financially, it ended up making sense for you to make the decision as well. But how did you know like this was the opportunity that was right for you?
I think I'm pretty good at reading people and opportunities, and it's part of it is right place, right time. Right, where maybe this opportunity presented itself earlier, maybe a year earlier, and it wouldn't have been the right time for me. And so I was already organically building my own side business at the time, doing coaching, and I was getting to the point where working with you and really seeing how you lead. What I care about most is, again, the people. And Angelo, you know, not to talk you up so much here and get the ego going, but truthfully, the leadership team, you, Carlos, bringing Santi in, like these guys are here for the right reasons. And I want to be a part of something that has some magic to it, and TFT has magic. There's something about TFT that is just organically amazing, and you can't replicate that. There's a lot of firms that are trying to replicate what we do. They see the strategies, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's flattering, right? But at the end of the day, there is such vision behind what you're doing and the brand and how you communicate in the community. I noticed that you are also very much a people person. You care so much about the trading community. You're in Discord all day, responding and building and connecting. It doesn't matter who they are, what background they are. And that really matters. So from a people standpoint, it was very clearly, easily early on, a check mark. How you led the teams, how you got people involved, even when there are issues, how you stay very level-headed. And at a leadership level, it's critical because our job is to solve huge issues.
All the time.
All the time. And so how you show up all the time matters. And you're probably one of the most consistently vibrant, but also consistently level-headed humans that can think very, very strategically and operationally. And that's also very difficult. Strategically and operationally is pretty fascinating. So honestly, it's a hard combo. So I think for me, it was a pretty easy decision because the firm was at a point where I felt I really trusted you guys. I felt that for me, timing wise, it was a really great time for me to get involved in something. And then finally, I really saw the opportunity of where this could go and that my skill set was perfect for the next evolution of TFT. Yeah. And that's really what sealed the deal, where it's like, okay, checkbox. And I was like, I actually can come in and help grow this a lot. And so it was very organic. It didn't feel pressured at all. It was amazing.
So talking about, I know before or in the lead up to you starting Optimus U, and then, you went through some personal things, this and that, and then you end up as COO of TFT, right? So for some people out there that are maybe going through some personal things and they're trying to rebound, and then maybe they're in an industry they don't like and they want to get into an industry they do like, right? Walk me through how you went about starting the coaching and I know it wasn't easy, and then using that to leverage into this new opportunity, right? How'd you make it happen?
It's funny, right? Because I view everything as stepping stones. I used to think that I had to have everything figured out, the whole life plan, step by step. I knew everything I needed to do, and it was just a very static vision for what I wanted to do. And when I started trusting more my intuition, to be honest, of hey, this just feels right. I'm interested, I'm curious in personal optimization. I know that I want to get involved in another business at some point, whether I co-found it or I get involved and get invited into something, a great opportunity. I knew that the direction, the North Star was at, but the how, I kind of had trust that things would present themselves at the right moment. So starting with Optimus U, I knew that was just something I wanted to do for myself. I was I could, they always ask you, what would you do if you, would put all your time into it, but you wouldn't get paid doing it? I was like, I would love to coach people. I would love to talk about high performance, peak performance, help people overcome, their mindset challenges, their physiology, help them just get healthier. Because that to me is really also what everyone in this industry is trying to do. Hopefully, I know there's a lot of it's on the financial side, which is amazing because enhancing your financial wealth is critical to help pull you out of certain situations. There's a lot of amazingness with that. But it's complete BS if all you're doing is focus on materialism. So I think for me, I have a passion for, like I keep saying, people, building healthy people. And that is financially, relationship-wise, health-wise. And that's where Optimus U came in. And it's through those opportunities where you think, okay, am I really going to do this forever? And I had that question. I'm am I really going to do Optimus U forever? Where is this really going?
Right.
And
maybe not. But you still did it.
But I still did it. And that was kind of important. So for everyone, I just encourage you to not be so attached to an idea that maybe you think is right for you, where you're I need to do this forever and put so much pressure on yourself. It might just be an amazing stepping stone to bring you to your ultimate purpose. And I think that what happened for me was, if I hadn't started Optimus U, there's no chance in hell that I'd be sitting here talking to you and being involved in this amazing company.
No.
Right? So that for me was just an incredible journey. And I look back and I'm like, man, in the moment, it felt so interesting and of how it was just unfolding in real time. But natural, organic. That's it, man. So that'd be my advice for anyone. Just don't be so attached to where you want to, the ultimate outcome. Be more interested in seeing how things are unfolding and use your intuition.
Yeah, dip your toes into the uncertainty. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure, as always, Matt, to speak with you. If you guys want to hear more from Matt, join the community updates every single month. You run through the Nobility series, which is a very good series in terms of what we should be doing in the month ahead in order to prepare for us to reach the next level. So definitely check that out. And thanks for being on the podcast, Matt.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure, guys. Thanks.